Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's learn subject-verb agreement today. How does the subject agree with the verb? It's very important for the subject and verb to be in agreement. So today's lesson will show you a few rules. These rules will make it easy for you to apply the subject-verb agreement in your sentences. So let's follow these rules. I have examples for you and a short test at the end of the lesson so that you will know if you have understood the lesson well or not. Let's start. Rule 1. The first rule is the simplest one. A singular subject takes a singular verb while a plural subject takes a plural verb. For example, she eats well. You cannot say she eat well. They eat well. I hope you get the difference here. So if you have a singular subject, always use a singular verb. And if you have a plural subject, always use a plural verb. Here's the second rule for you. When there is a phrase beginning with the word of, we must use a subject before it. What do I mean by this? Here's an example for you. A herd of cows is grazing in the field. Now, very often people are confused with this. The minute they see the word cows, they picture it in their minds and they say, oh yes, so it's a number of cows. It's not one cow. It is more than one cow. And hence, I should use the verb are and not is. And they get the sentence wrong. So what you need to remember in this case is that we are not looking only at one word in a sentence. We are considering the meaning of the entire sentence. So we have a herd of cows. We are not looking only at the word cows, which is plural, of course. We are looking at that entire phrase, a herd of cows. How many herds? One. A means one. And means one. So if you see a and written in a sentence, it automatically means one. It refers to one thing. Hence, a herd of cows means one herd of cows. Yes, there are many cows, but we are talking about one group of them, only one group. And hence, the verb should be is, not are. I hope that was clear. Here's the third rule. When a sentence has or, neither, either, by the way, these words can be pronounced as neither or neither, either or either. Both pronunciations are absolutely right. So when a sentence has or, neither, or either, the verb must agree with the noun or pronoun that is closest to it. Here's what I mean. Either my son or my daughter is coming to visit me. Now, if you just look at the sentence, not considering the rule, you might think, oh, son and daughter, two people. So I should use the verb are, but that's not how it works. Either my son or my daughter. That's what the sentence says. So it is either this person or that person. One of them is coming to visit me. Get it? If, for example, you have neither there, neither the boys nor the girls has a pencil. So we are not talking about the boys and the girls. We are talking about the boys as one group, and we are talking about the girls as the second group. So neither the boys nor the girls has a pencil. All right, look at this one. My father or my mother is meeting me at the station. Not both of them. Either one. Either my father or my mother. And hence I use the verb is and not are. My father or my mother is meeting me at the station. It doesn't mean that both of them are meeting me. No. My father might come or my mother might come. So you need to read the entire sentence, make sense of it, and you should understand whether it means one thing or more than one. And only then you will know whether to use a singular verb or a plural verb. All right, here's the fourth rule for you. When two or more subjects are connected by and, the word and, we must use the plural verb. This is an example. The cow and goat are running a race. Now, why are we saying are? Because we're not talking about only the cow or the goat. We're talking about both the cow and goat. They both are running a race. All right? And hence are. Here's the fifth rule for you. When a sentence begins with here or there, the subject must follow the verb. So if you see here or there in your sentence, not just anywhere in the sentence, beginning with here or there, then the subject must follow the verb. What do I mean by this? Here's what I mean. There are 5 twigs in the stream. Now, there is there, right? In the beginning of the sentence, you have the word there. And hence, is there because it's 5 twigs. I could have said there is 1 twig in the stream. In that case, it would be is because I'm talking about 1 twig. But the sentence has 5 twigs, more than one. Hence, there are 5 twigs in the stream. If my sentence begins with the word here, here is the house, then you look at the subject. The subject is house. How many are we talking about? Just one. Here is the house. Hence, we use the verb is. All right? If, for example, I was talking about many houses, I would have said, here are the houses. I hope that's clear. Here is rule number 6 for you. When periods of time, distances, and sums of money are considered as a unit, that means as one thing, use a singular verb. Here's what I mean. 5 minutes is too little. So now we are not talking about each minute separately. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. No, we are talking about 5 minutes collectively as one unit of time. So 5 minutes is too little. So we have to use singular verb here. What about this one? See, 2 kilometers. Now we are not talking about each of them separately. We are talking about 2 kilometers as one single unit. Hence, we use the verb is. 2 kilometers is too much. All right. And if I talk about sums of money as a single unit like this, 5,000 rupees as one single unit. And hence we use a singular verb is. So 5,000 rupees is a good amount to win. Clear? Here's rule number 7 for you. When words indicate portions like some or a lot, use a singular verb with a singular noun and a plural verb with a plural noun. Got it? Like this. Some of the cake is missing. Okay? Some of the cake is missing. A lot of the strawberries have worms in them. So now I'm talking about many strawberries, so I use have. But in the first case, I'm talking about only one cake. Some of the cake, yes, some of it, but one cake. Hence, is missing. I hope it's clear. But in the second sentence, we are talking about many strawberries. So a lot of the strawberries have worms in them. Clear? Rule number 8. When there are collective nouns, here's another way, many children make mistakes over here. Many students make mistakes. So be very careful with this one too. When there are collective nouns, we can use singular or plural verbs depending on what the writer intends to convey to us. Tricky? Of course it is. But with a lot of practice, you'll get it. So all you have to do in every single case is to read the entire sentence carefully. Don't just look at one word in the sentence and decide whether you should use a singular or a plural verb with it. No. Read the entire sentence very carefully, maybe more than once if you need to, and try and understand what the writer is trying to say in that sentence. Is the writer conveying a single unit or using more than a single unit as a subject? You need to understand that. It will come with practice. Don't worry about it. Here's an example for you. The audience is enjoying the play. So now it's the audience, and there are many people in the audience. And yet we are using is. Why? Because we are talking about the audience as a single unit, one group of people. The audience is enjoying the play. I could also say most of the staff is walking towards the lake. The staff, a group of teachers or a group of workers, some working somewhere in an establishment, in an institution. But we're talking about one group. So most of that one group is walking towards the lake. So in all cases, you need to understand the entire sentence to know what the writer intends to convey to you. All right? Let's do the last rule, rule number 9. When we express a wish, we use were instead of was. Here is another one that people are very confused with. What should you say? I wish I was a queen, or I wish I were a queen. Well, this rule is very specific, right? It tells you that when you are expressing a wish, use were. For example, I wish I were a butterfly. I really wish I were one, because then I could fly all over and see places and it would be exciting. All right, did you understand all 9 rules? Well, keep practicing because that's the only way you can master this topic. Are you ready to do a short test now and see if you can get them all right? It's a very short one. Choose the correct verb to fill in the blanks. All right, think about them as I go through all. All the cakes dash gone. Should you say all the cakes is gone or all the cakes are gone? Do some thinking. There is a bunch of keys on the table or there are a bunch of keys on the table. What do you think? Neither Mary nor Sophie is present today or are present today. What do you think? Neither Mary nor Sophie is present today. Neither Mary nor Sophie are present today. Look at this one. He is amazed at the view or he are amazed at the view. Look at the subject, read the entire sentence, try and decide whether the writer meant you to think of the subject as a singular one or a plural. There is 4 dogs in the park or there are 4 dogs in the park. What do you think? Have you done a lot of thinking? Are you ready for the answers? The first one is are. All the cakes are gone. Why? Because the subject is saying all the cakes. We're talking about all the cakes. We don't know how many, but it's definitely not one. We're talking about more than one cake. Definitely not 2 either. Maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe 100. Maybe it's a bakery. All the cakes are gone. Why? Because it's definitely not one cake. Look at the subject carefully. Now look at the second sentence. Look at the subject. What is the subject, first of all? Is it a bunch of keys? Is it bunch? Is it keys? Is it table? First, you have to be clear about what the subject is. And I hope you all know the difference between the subject and the predicate, and you all know how to pick the subject out of a sentence. Presuming that you all know that, so have you found your subject? Once you have found your subject, try and decide whether the writer is telling you about one thing or more than one. And your answer should be is. because we are talking about one bunch of keys. That's your subject. There is a bunch of keys on the table. One bunch of keys. Keys may be written there. Like I told you, never look at one word. Look at the entire sentence. Try and understand whether they mean one thing or more than one thing. Okay? And hence it is. A bunch, one. Like I told you during the lesson, a means one. And means one. Now look at the third one. Neither Mary nor Sophie. Should I say is or are? Think carefully. What's your subject? And then think whether the writer means, one of them, or does the writer mean both of them? And your answer definitely should be is, because I told you in one of the rules that if you see the word neither or either or, you have to use a singular verb with it. Because when you look at the sentence, the meaning is neither Mary nor Sophie is present today. We are not talking about Mary and Sophie together. We are saying Mary is not present today and Sophie is not present today, separately. Got it? What about the next one? He amazed at the view. He is amazed at the view or he are amazed at the view. Where is your subject? And is it a singular subject or a plural subject? I think this one's easy because it is. He is one person, a boy or a man. He is amazed at the view. What about the last one? First, find your subject there. There are 4 dogs in the park. So should we say is or are here? What is the subject? Is park the subject? Is 4 dogs the subject? Is dogs the subject? What's the subject? And if you are confused about finding the subject in a sentence, then I think you need to practice subject and predicate first. But if you are confident that you know the subject, very good. Got it? So we are talking about 4 dogs, more than one. Hence, there are 4 dogs in the park. Clear? Okay, so have you got all 5 answers right? If you have, kudos to you. Congratulations. Excellent. Well done. And if you haven't, then I suggest you go through the lesson one more time, go through each and every rule, maybe write it down in a notebook and go through it very carefully, understand the rule, practice a lot of sentences over and over. All right? If you need me to make some more tests so that you can get more practice, do let me know in the comments below so that I can have a lesson ready for you. And until we meet again, cheerio.